Hello. In this video, I wanted to talk about the pain points my applications that I made solve. And just to start off, uh, if you're interested in kind of understanding about my process, I have made other videos about the various apps that I've made. And all of them have solved specific pain points that I've had as I was learning to draw. I try to balance my digital with my traditional drawing. I do both, and I like both. Both have their merits, their fun sides, and their downsides. So, when I was originally learning to draw, I was following a drawing course called Drawbox. It was from drawbox.com, and I was also learning gesture drawing from Proko.com. I needed a starting point of some type, so I was doing both. And originally, I think there was something on YouTube, some channel on YouTube that had different poses, and I was following that and Proko gesture drawing videos. I paid for the Proko course on gesture drawing. I found it really worth it, even though drawing's hard because when you first start off, you can't do like anything but fail, and it's really hard to see when you'll have success, but you eventually do have it. So originally, with a lot of the Proko courses, they came with photos that you could download and use for personal use. So I was using those images and I was opening them up one at a time, just through the Windows thing, and I quickly realized just how slow. This is the thing that comes with Windows, and it was really annoying to use this. It was a bit clunky, and yeah, you can use it as a slideshow. I didn't know it had that feature, but I didn't like it. It wasn't really what I was looking for. And I don't like to bash on uh, Microsoft so much because I will say I still to this day will swear upon that Paint, the Paint application that comes with like all like the plain one, not the 3D one. I'm sorry, but I like this one. This is what I like. This is by far what I would say one of the best applications of all of human existence. I know that sounds weird to say, but I will swear upon it forever that this is one of the best applications ever to exist. And I know it sounds really weird saying it, but I honestly believe it. It is just one of the best things, and I am so happy that Microsoft kept it and never got rid of it because it is just awesome. I've always loved that application. It's just easy to use. It's intuitive. I've used it my entire life, and I cannot. Well, you get the point. I've said enough. But besides that, I embarked on trying to find some other type of slideshow application, one that was a bit faster and easier for me to use for my purposes of learning gesture drawing and structuring my drawing practice in a way that I can make it a routine. So I looked online. I found that there were some people that sold ones, but before I didn't buy them. Well, when they were all paid for, and I was kind of in the time. This was years ago, and I was trying to save all my money to pay off my massive student loan debt, and I didn't want to pay for anything. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna put my programming skills to use. So I was like, okay, well, if I can't buy it, I'll make it. So I first made Drawsome, and as I learned and as I went, I refined this a lot, and it is fast. And I learned a lot when I was making it. I used the Electron framework to make this, along with a lot of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And it started off just for me. Like all this other stuff here, well, besides the a lot of images, I did have that there for myself, just to remind myself. And I had the title as well. But it was mostly just all of this stuff. And all of them served really specific purposes, just for me to quickly practice every day, then move on to the next thing. I eventually added move mode because I was inspired by Drawbox, in which pretty much trying to work through certain images so I don't practice the same thing twice. It lets you choose a folder to go through, and basically when you mark it as complete, it'll be transferred to another folder. So the idea was, oh, okay, great, I'll work my way through one folder of images, so I practice everything in that folder. I like this a lot. I I had to make there were a lot of weird bugs with it that I fixed. One of them was at one time accidentally deleted some of my images, but I resolved that issue with it. But it still scares me to this day, because the one thing I would never want to do is accidentally be responsible for deleting anyone's files in any way. But it doesn't. It moves it to the other folder. But like the way it works internally is it deletes it or puts it in another folder, then deletes it. But if it can't, there are a bunch of fail safes I put into that prevent anything from happening. But I did do that because I was inspired by Drawbox for it. But yeah, this took me a long time to make. There were many nights. I hate to say it, but when I was making all of my applications, I pretty much put off drawing for a while, and it's just that wasn't good. I needed to be doing more drawing all the time because I really need the drawing experience. So I made this. I added so many features to it. It became ridiculous. Eventually, what ended up happening was I made there's a feature when you start the slideshow called the thumbnail, and you can guess where that led me. Actually, to Thumbtastic, believe it or not. So I was like, I have to make this because I was annoyed by the inbuilt Windows image viewer tool. And instead, I made Thumbtastic. And it was a way to easily open an image without all the extra annoying screen space that the other ones take up. And I just wanted to make it as simple as possible so I could work with an image to the side. And considering that I use a drawing tablet, it was incredibly convenient for me to have my reference to the left and be able to draw out the right. And, I added functionalities for either a single image or a folder of images. And, as I went and as I learned, I was using Thumbtastic every day, and I was using Drawsome every day. And I liked both. And eventually what ended up happening was, and this is going to sound, it makes sense. So I was using Drawsome, and it had the thumbnail feature. And I was using the thumbnail feature so much rather than the actual slideshow, which takes up your entire screen. Sorry about that. Okay, well, now my applications are hidden. Let me bring up this one. So eventually what ended up happening was the thumbnail feature on my Drawsome application. I ended up getting a bit annoyed that I was only using that, and I was like, how could I not have done this yet? So what I ended up doing was I ended up spending a good deal of time pretty much going back and learning from my previous code that I made from Thumbtastic and Drawsome, putting that together. I pretty much redid it because this behaves unlike Thumbtastic and Drawsome, in which with Drawsome 2, it's I want it to behave as a single window. Compared to Thumbtastic and Drawsome, which kind of operate as like a dock where you could open new things, Drawsome 2 used all of my programming knowledge and also knowledge of React. React is a JavaScript framework that is used for a thing called a single page application. It's mostly used for websites, but I guess in the sense this is a true single page application. So it basically works in which you have the slideshow directly to your left, and you could run it, and it all stays on my screen rather than having to use to look at a second monitor or having to use the thumbnail feature of my other app, Drawsome. So, I was using this for a long time, and I was like, this is awesome. Of course, I found so many bugs. Another thing I wanted to mention is something unlike many other software engineers that I've met in my life and experiences with apps. I eat what I make. So that's something that I find incredibly important. Also incredibly important in the art that I do that I eventually want to share with the world once I get better at it. But I like to make things of really high quality. And I like to do that because I think it really shows me. So all of my applications, as you see them, went through an incredible amount of testing, and bugs are something that just pop up. I mean, I love drawing bugs, but dealing with programming bugs, that's a whole nother issue. So, I mean, all of my apps, I've worked on so many bugs, and when I work on one bug, I will be honest with you, I end up losing like a day. The whole process of me getting the bug fix and testing it like heck, it usually takes multiple days for me to do that, and then merging my code, and then compiling all of my applications and uploading it to wherever I'm hosting my applications for download. Just to mention, like, I believe Drawsum and Thumbtastic, not Drawsum 2, but the first Drawsum and Thumbtastic are free. I deem them as essential for humanity, and I wanted everyone to use them. The only reason why Drawsum 2 isn't free is because it's more of a convenience tool rather than a necessity. I mean, I truly think everyone needs it because, I mean, I use it every day, but I do appreciate any and all support. I mean, I'm not a starving artist, but enough said. So I made Drawsum 2 for the massive convenience and learning. You know, I put all of my programming experience into making this, and I'm really proud of Drawsum 2. I'm really proud of my other applications too, but I really had a good opportunity to put a bunch of things I learned together into Drawsum 2. And eventually, I was inspired to make Drawsum 3, which isn't really... It's a bit different, because Drawsum 3 is more for animation rather than static images. It basically turns any video that you upload. I think I accept like MP4, is it OGG or something like that, and I think there's another open. I listed them on my website, but yeah, basically I had the idea that like I bet everything I've learned could be incredibly helpful for animators, so why not turn a video into a slideshow? And that's essentially what Drawsum 3 does. And all of that will be all of my applications. There'll be a link for them in my description below, or you can find them on my website larsbarnaby.com. But yeah, I found it incredibly useful. Even though I don't do animation yet, I thought of it. I don't know if I should. I don't really have time because I'm really more into fine art than animation. Nothing nothing against animators. I mean, you know, I guess maybe I made this more because I thought I could help animators too. I remember using Newgrounds when I was bored a long time ago. Oh man, this was like a long time ago when I was a kid. And like, oh, it was so cool having all the cool experiences like of video games and animations that people made and all that cool stuff. And I was like, I don't know if I made this free or not, but I do appreciate any and all support. I do try to make all of my applications as convenient as possible, and also following the same user interface design scheme that I made. I try. Please forgive me if any bugs do appear. But yeah, those are the major pain points that I've realized when it comes to my apps. I haven't made any other applications because I really haven't run into any other pain points. There was one other application I made, but I ended up I didn't scrap it. Like, it still exists in my personal code base, but I found too many issues with it, and it was like, it's really hard to get people to adopt any new tech. I'm pretty sure people do use my apps. It's really hard for me to tell. I do believe, like, the last time I checked, I don't know, I think people were downloading it from Japan or something like that. I believe it was Japanese. I don't know, something like that. But I think a lot of people from the UK as well. But the point I'm trying to say here is that, yeah, all of my applications were meant to solve a specific pain point I had when I was drawing digitally. And I didn't find anything existing. So that was another important thing to mention in my process. So I hope this kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what I do, why I made my apps, the problems they solve, or maybe the problems they didn't solve. But I do hope they help people, because that's a big reason why I made them, and why 2 of them are free for everyone forever. There, I said it. But yeah, if you have any questions, ask in the comments. If you like the video, please like it, and if you like my channel, please subscribe. Yeah, I made this video more to kind of document the process of everything, because I really didn't make videos when I was making all of my applications. It was too time consuming. So you will see, like, when I made videos, there's a little bit of a blip in time when I didn't upload or post anything. And that was because I did not have any time. Many late nights were spent making these, really late nights. This was around the pandemic times, and also coming out of the pandemic times as well. Yeah, I worked some, like, really weird hours. Like, I mean, I probably can do that. I can probably do it for drawing, but when it comes to programming, I mean, programming really stresses me out these days. I wish it didn't. That more has to do with my day job, but I wish, like, I know it sounds weak of me to be that way, uh, and I wish I wasn't like that, because I used to really enjoy programming when I was doing it for fun in college. Well, not everything in college was enjoyable with programming, but it was a really interesting experience. And you know, I don't want to make anything that never gets used. Like, I wanted to make things that are actually useful. I also mentioned that I never mentioned Drawsome.app, which was a website I had for a while. I no longer have the domain. It was kind of a project that was too hard to start. It was basically an online version of a slideshow with a bunch of other extra functionality, combining Thumbtastic as well. But it was like a website rather than desktop applications, which all of these are. But yeah, a lot of these things I learned from specific pain points I had from applications I used in my life, and also I tried to apply a lot of the information from the book by Donald Don Norman, The Design of Everyday Things. I've read that book multiple times, and always thinking about direct mapping, and all of the affordances. There's a bunch of other stuff, feedback, feed forward, all affordances. I think I said affordances already, but yeah, I really tried to put everything together that I learned, and I sure do hope that it helps artists out there. It would be great if it helps people stand on their own 2 feet. If you're if you're watching this from the future, in which people are doing art more for the enjoyment of it rather than survival, please do enjoy my apps to the maximum that you can. But yeah, thank you for listening to me throughout this video. I think I have blabbed long enough. Thanks for listening. I always do appreciate it. Bye.